Welcome, people. Welcome to the Arsenal Huddle. We've got a treat in here for you tonight, guys. Welcome to each and every single one of you for joining us. We have Rachid from the Arsenal Revolution, and we have the one and only Dan Potts from the 12th Man. Make sure you're following these guys. Their channels are pinned. I'm sure you are already. Kenny Ken will be joining us later shortly. And as I speak now, the legend enters the stage. So we've got the legend Kenny Ken as well.
Sorry about my timekeeping.
Don't worry, Kenny. We'll let you off, brother. Don't you worry about that, Kenny. It's no problem. And then we've got Arron probably will be joining us later on. So, Rachid, bro, thank you for joining us. How you doing, brother? All right? All good?
I'm all right. Big up to you, of course. Big up Dan, big up Kenny, big up the whole chat. I'm all right, bro. But tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of watching Arsenal, to be honest. It's just so boring. So boring. Yeah, like, exactly. I'm just gonna go straight, get to the point. I'm that kind of guy, just straight to the point. Yeah. Where what we saw yesterday was one of the reasons why I want this manager gone. Like, even a cup won't do. I mean, come on, like it's Port Vale. Big up to them, man. I think, in my opinion, I feel like they played well. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, they can't. Obviously, they didn't shoot that much and whatnot, but they tried to stay in the game and whatnot. But yeah, I didn't really see anything yesterday. A lot of defensive mistakes. A lot of defensive mistakes. Mosquera, Saliba, Skelly, the keeper as well. The best attacking keeper, by the way. The best attacking keeper. Yeah, exactly. And we got the best attacking midfielder and the best attacking fullbacks, but we only scored 4 goals from open play.
No, it's madness, isn't it? No, we're going to get right into it. Dan, how you doing, brother? Thank you for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. You're making your guest appearance for us. Appreciate it, bro.
Long time coming, man. Not just me to be on here, but to get your channel running. So I'm glad you've done that, mate. And it's a pleasure to be on. Big up to everybody that's here. And other than Arsenal, I'm really good, mate. So I can't complain. But it's been a tough watch in the last few weeks. And last night was no different, bruv.
Exactly. Kenny?
How you doing, mate?
Here we are again. I can't get rid of you, bro. What's going on? How you doing, bro?
All right. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday together. But I think the thing is, right, is that I think we need to, address the whole, not just Arsenal style of play. I think football in general in this country is at an all-time low in terms of entertainment. If you're going to say, well, the Arsenal, Port Vale game was a poor watch and it was hard to watch. Well, Spurs fans are saying the same thing with their game against Doncaster, where they found it hard watch, and I'm sure Liverpool fans and every fan in the country say it hard time. No, it's like everyone wants to sort of like play this kind of low block. Even the top teams want to play a low block, and they don't want to be overloaded. So when you look at games, it's like it's just one mistake and you lose. If you don't make mistakes, then you'll be lucky if you get a 1-1. It's highly likely you'll get a 0-0. You look at a game on Sunday, 2 teams set up, in terms of like making sure they were difficult to beat, making sure they didn't give anything away, gave up possession when in some cases that way in Man City, and then it took a mistake from Saliba for Man City to score, and it took overconfidence from Donnarumma for Arsenal to score, and then yesterday speaks volumes, and that's what you're going to be seeing. I mean, the days of watching Man City get 100 points or seeing the kind of forward play from Kane, Torres. Oh, God. Jokeris, what have you done to come to Arsenal or come to English football?
Yeah, it's facts, man. It's facts. I mean, Dan, I'll come to you. I mean, Arsenal v Port Vale. We've seen it before with teams under Wenger. The kids have been played, and he's put an attacking lineup in. And we've been grown up watching attacking football in this sort of competition. Rumbelows Cup, Carabao Cup, Milk Cup, whatever cup you want to see it. I mean, I've grown up watching young players express themselves and use this as a platform to make a real impression. I didn't see any of that last night. I saw Max Dowman come on, and in the friendlies, his first priority was how can I go past this player? He was looking to pass it left or pass it backwards. Is it being coached out of them? Is it down to the manager? I mean, what is going on, bro? Because we had 8 shots we had 11 shots and 4 on target yesterday. And is it a job well done in your eyes, or is it kind of the cracks are still there? What are you saying?
Well, there's a section of the fan base that think it's job done on to the next. I'm not one of those. I thought it was boring. I thought it was lackluster. I found it very, very tedious. And it was the if there's anybody that's doubting or questioning what the problem is at the club, last night I answered it for them, because it's the manager, bruv. The manager is the reason that we were in the position that we were in last night, because it doesn't matter right now whether you play Eza, whether you play Martinelli. It doesn't matter if it's Marino or Odegaard. It doesn't matter if it's Madueke or Saka, and it doesn't seem to matter if it's Marino or Gyökeres up front. Last season, it didn't matter if it was Havertz up front or Marino up front. There was a lack of creativity and has been for quite some time. And I'm not really a fan of Jamie Carragher in certain times, but I do think that he speaks a lot of facts at times. And I thought he was spot on. Arsenal needed a striker, but they also needed creativity. And if you get one, then you might score a couple of goals, but you ain't going to dominate. And if you're not going to create anything for the striker, whether it's Gyökeres, Havertz, or Marino, or Jesus, they're not going to have chances to put him in the top of goal. Now, I thought yesterday there were quite a few things that I liked about the team lineup. I liked the fact that we went for that in midfield. I actually thought, when I knew Norgard was going to play, whether you're a fan of him or not, I was happy to see that. It's not a problem. I wanted to see Ethan and Eza both in the middle, because I felt like we could at least have a bit of a go, because it's Port Vale. And I was more than happy to see certain players out there that I think need game time. Mosquera's looked good of late. Ben White needs minutes. I knew one of Saliba or Gabriel was going to play. I just knew it. I wasn't losing my head because I knew it. I knew Saka was going to start. Wasn't losing my head because I knew it. But when I looked at the actual game from minute 1 to minute 7, I thought this could be 5 or 6 here, because we've got the early goal. And I was silly to think that, because this manager doesn't win games by 5 or 6, right? He's quite happy to get the 1-0, right? Cool, let's bring everyone on. We're lumping on Declan Rice and Gabriel and all this to try and win a game against the League One side that are in the relegation zone of 19th at the moment. And that says to me that there's a style problem. It's not a personnel problem, because the personnel was clearly there. You could see that. So in answer to your question of why, are we like that? Is it being coached out of them? The only answer I can say is yes, because I've seen Martinelli score 15 goals. Yeah. And I know he can do it. I've seen Saka get 30 GA. I know that he can do it. For some reason, the manager hasn't wanted them to do that in the last couple of seasons. I've seen Martin Odegaard have games where he's been creative. He hasn't been creative for a while because the manager's coached it out of him. And the players that he hasn't really got a grip of yet, there's 4 of them. He hasn't really got his claws dug into him yet. Ethan Nwaneri, Max Dalman, Noni Madueke, and Eberechi Eza. And the 4 of them are the only 4 that are looking like any form of threat or creativity or spark or flair going forward. Max Dalman, when he came on, putting a wonderful ball over to Gyökeres. You saw Eza score the goal. You saw Ethan light up the game against Leeds and Forest going forward. I thought he moved the ball much quicker than Odegaard ever has done. And everyone's been praising Noni Madueke on the right-hand side since Saka's been injured. And they're the 4 that we're looking at that have not had the claws of Mikel Arteta put into him yet. And that's why them 4 are looking the liveliest and looking the best. It must be, because there's no other excuse for it. Now, big up to Martinelli and Trossard of late, because they've come on and done the business, right? But they're now subs for us, and I'm calm with that. It's not a problem for me as the squad players. You need a squad. But they're the only 4 that I look at with any form of creativity and spark and flair, and are allowed to express themselves, or at least have decided they're allowed in their own mindset to do that. But give it time, DJ, because I don't think it'll be forever, bruv, because this guy's getting his claws into you, and then all of a sudden you fall off a cliff. Trossard, he came to Arsenal and he was unbelievable as a January signing. What's happened to him? I know he scored, but what's happened to him over a period of season? We ain't seen it. Martinelli's fallen off a cliff. These players have all regressed of the last couple of seasons. And I've not been impressed by the manager's comments. I've not been impressed by his press conferences of late. I've not been impressed by his style of play. And you and Kenny go to games, and I can't remember the last game I sat there and thoroughly enjoyed 1 minute to 90. The Forest one was just about okay this season, but I'm not going to say last season there was more than Man City and Real Madrid. After those 2, I'm struggling. I always like beating Tottenham, but it wasn't exactly exciting to watch. Other than that, I'm been struggling, mate. So I've made my decision up on this manager. The Cronkies need to very quickly, and if they don't, then we've got to look at the ownership. But he's been given all the tools this season to get us across the line. And if he can't do it, mate, then he's got to go.
No, facts, Dan. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. People keep telling me that it's only 5 games in. It's 5 games in, and I keep saying, people, this ain't 5 games.
6
We was
years
watching
in.
this last season. We was watching it last season, the season before. Me and Kenny's had discussions where we've been at home against Everton last season, the 0-0. They're struggling to get over the line against Leicester and Southampton that were in the game, and we couldn't break them down. I mean, it's just madness. Rachid, I'll come to you. Buddy, did you enjoy last night? I mean, was it a job done for you, or come on, man? I mean, as far as I could see, if Port Vale was any half decent, if that was a championship team like a Coventry or something like that, they could have equalised, or we could have found ourselves behind. What are you saying, mate?
Nah, facts. I would say it's more 1 year and a half, probably 1 year and 5 games. We've been playing this football. People tell you like, we were struggling with creativity only this season. It's bullshit. We struggled with creativity last season as well, and even the season before that. But it just keeps getting worse and worse, like to the point where now we cannot create against the Port Vale with 2 number 10s. 2 number 10s.
Facts.
And I don't know if he was a number 9.
We didn't have 110 on Sunday, and now we got 2.
What was Moreno? Was he a number 9? Was he a 6, 8? Because he's terrible at all the positions. Like that guy is terrible at all the positions. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy with Moreno. I don't know what the love it is for Moreno. Like, you know, him scoring those 3 goals against Spain is gonna cost us. Do you know what I'm saying? It's gonna cost us because he's gonna keep playing him and he's gonna keep trying to make us believe. He believes it. That in the press conference, do you see his press conferences? Like, he's so cocky about it as well, with that smug smile and like he knows everything. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's got everything like under control. When they asked him about Max, oh yeah, I watched the game. He should have been sent off 35 minutes in. Ha ha ha. Nobody's laughing. Then he went on saying, and now I'm gonna put on the handbrake on him. Do you know, Arteta, like, the only reason why we're playing this football is because of you. We have the talent there to play expanding football and be balanced at the same time. See, everybody tells me that we have the best defense in the world, correct? Okay, well, one of the best defenses in the world. How about we test it? How about we actually test this defense? Do you know what I'm saying? How about we put out a team that is balanced? I don't want to play with 2 number 6s ever again against teams like this. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, yesterday it's not what I'm talking about right now, but like, I want to see more of what happened yesterday with the 2 10s. And I'm feeling like Gyökeres should have took his goal, to be honest, because Max Stallman put it on a plate. What a ball from Max Stallman. I'm really impressed with that kid. I think he's ready to go now, but that's a convo for another day.
Would you start him, Rachid? Would you start him?
Hell yeah. Oh, but he's 15. I don't care if he's 12, DJB. I do not care if he's 12. You know what I'm saying? He's better than what we have. It is what it is. Like, I'm looking at Noni Madueke, and I'm really thinking, like, hey, maybe I made a mistake about this guy. Yeah, 52 million is a bit of too much, I'll be honest. 52 million is ridiculous. But like, as a football player, I'm there thinking, Madueke, hey, listen, he's been doing all right. He's one of the wingers that takes on his man. And that's something I want to see in my winger. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want to see no pragmatic football. Go to the left and then cross the ball. To who? To who? It's just, you know what it is, yeah? It's people act like it's always the first game that we see this. It's always the first game. This happened only against Liverpool. And that, first of all, the first game they told us, oh, it's Man United. We went to Old Trafford. You know how it is. We didn't win in, what did he say, 22 years? Until I came. Until me. You know what I'm saying? Until Kim Jong-un came to this club, then we started winning. Do you know what I'm saying? It's mad.
He's a bit wrapped up, and he's a bit wrapped up in his own.
Oh, man, he really winds me up.
Yeah,
BJB, he really winds me up. But man, listen, it's not just one game. You man told us, and I'll end on this, yeah. People told us that this pragmatic football that we're playing is just going to be against a top team playing obviously outside the Emirates. We've seen it in the Emirates. We've seen it against team like Bilbao. You do not have to have a handbrake against Bilbao. You do not need to play that kind of football against Bilbao. You can beat them. Come on. If we can't, there's a serious problem at this club. There's a serious problem. Yeah, and it is what it is. You saw yesterday, we barely created from the goal to the second goal. You see in between?
No,
what did we create? Okay, what did we
create? Rachid. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, we're sick and tired of it. I've got to be honest. And it's Kenny. I mean, yeah, it's a competition that I feel now, because looking at that draw, Kenny, right? Looking at that draw with Newcastle, Spurs, a lot of the Premiership teams, matching up in the next round. This is a competition that we can win, isn't it? If we get our act together. I mean, a lot of the Arsenal fans are saying, "Oh yeah, we know we don't want it," and yeah, I understand we need bigger things. We want the bigger prizes. That's our goal, the Premiership and everything else. But looking at that draw, mind you, at home against Brighton, we don't normally do well against Brighton at the best of times. But this is a competition that we could probably go far in. So, is it a job well done for you, or was you disappointed, Kenny?
No, it was. Let's be honest. We knew how we're going to play like that. Many a time, it doesn't matter whether we're playing Port Vale, we're playing Portsmouth, or even a Premiership side. We're always going to set up like that. We're always going to make sure we're compact, difficult to break down, difficult to overload, and that we're just going to pick teams off and just part and frustrate teams into making mistakes. That's how Arsenal play. In terms of the Carabao Cup, well, let's face it, Arsenal, because they've got a big squad this season, there are going to be players who need games. They need to be ready unless they're called upon. So the days of seeing youngsters that you got Henry Williams, Sanchez Watts, young Jack Wilshere, those kind of players that we were seeing previously under Arsene Wenger. That's not going to happen this season, because if everyone's fit, Norgard needs a game. He's a first team. He was a Brentford captain last season. Kepa has played internationals and big games and cup finals for Chelsea. That's another experienced player. Then you've got Benjamin White, who was our first choice right back only a couple of seasons ago. He needs games. Skelly, made his first team berth. He's need games, and you can go on and on. But the fact is that we are playing experienced players and strong players and motivated players as well, because, as we know, injuries will happen. So, yeah, we could go far, 100% go far, in this competition. He's got no excuses, but he's going to be doing it his way. It's not going to be exciting. He's not going to be played with flair. He's not going to be played with panache. It's going to be a situation where you call for flair. You see players like Eze in the team, and you think, right, we're going to play with flair and abandon. You see, a striker and Victor Gyökeres. And I said, last week, and I'll say it this week, it's not a case of changing for them. They have to adapt to Mikel, or they don't play. You've seen a situation with Eze when he started games, what Mikel wanted from him. And you saw the game against Man City, where Jamie Carragher's always saying, "Well, you bought your big name player, and you're playing someone like Trossard, who wasn't good enough to play in the other games." I don't think Jamie Carragher has heard of horse of courses. That's Mikel in a nutshell. And I'm telling you now, I'm probably fast forwarding in to Newcastle's aim before being asked. But you look at that team sheet on Sunday, and I promise you, the players that you want to play are not going to play. He's going to be worried about Newcastle's midfield. He's going to be worried about the pace coming down the wings. For instance, he's going to worry about Alanga's pace on the right-hand side. He's going to worry about the quick feet and trickery of Gordon. So, in essence, you could discount a couple of players, especially the player that we're so excited to have in the team. I can promise you now, he won't start against Newcastle.
No, facts, man. Facts. I'm just getting on to Eze. I mean, I'll go around the panel, but Rachid, what is Eze's role in this club now? Do you think he's going to be used as a kind of in and out player? Do you think he's going to get regular games? Do you think he's going to play him in the right position? I mean, I don't know. I'm worried with this Eze, because I think if we're not careful, we're going to turn a very, very good quality player into kind of a squad player, if you like. Do you know what I mean? He's just going to be used randomly. How do you see Eze? Do you think Eze will end up a legend at this club? What I'm saying is, will he get enough game time to be ever remembered by the Arsenal fans, or do you think he'll just fade away in the distance?
It's a shame. That's what the thing is. He never saw him as a number 10. What told me that he never saw him as a number 10? And I know people would argue that, oh, Martinelli and Trossard haven't been doing well on the left. We need someone there to do a job. But I don't know. You could have bought you could have bought a winger that can do a job better than Martinelli and Trossard. Like the bar is not that low, not that high. The bar is very, very low. I'm sorry. Maybe off the bench they're good, but like, I mean, even Martinelli, he can only play as a striker. Let's be honest here. He can't play as a left winger. You saw him yesterday. He did not beat his man. He couldn't beat a man. He's that's League One. DJB,
Yeah,
Kenny, that's League One.
Yeah.
How could you not be a man from League One? Like we know that he's out of place. But going back to Eze, yeah, we had the chance to play him 2-3 games, and we still didn't play him. We played three CDMs. We played 3 DMs to wait until Odegaard comes back, and then he will start for the number 8/10, whatever he plays. Because I don't think it's a 10. I don't really think it's an 8 as well. He's a very defensive 8. Everybody's defensive in this lineup. Everyone. But that's something Eze. I think Eze is a club signing. I don't think he's an Arteta signing, even though he said, "Oh, I was talking to him on the phone and blah blah blah." And you know he was bullshitting there. Come on, Arteta, you weren't talking to him on the phone. You weren't talking to him on the phone. Come on, yeah. Even his cousin didn't know he was gonna come to our bus. But that's a story for another day. Will he play in that number 10? No. Especially if Odegaard comes back. You get me? Because you see, we had the chance to play this man as a number 10. Twice, 3 times against teams that you didn't even need to defend against. Bilbao, you don't need to defend against Bilbao. You don't need, you do need to defend, but you don't need 3 defensive midfielders in that midfield to go against Bilbao. You do not need that. You can let go of one player, and Eze's that player. Someone that can create in that midfield. This creative issue was from last season. This man at the end of the season, I remember in the press conferences, because I think he was me and North, big up to him. We were like doing a stream about it, and he was talking about creativity and how we struggled against low blocks and mid blocks. And it's something that we're gonna face game over. We're gonna face it against a lot of teams. And that's the moment where you need Eze. You need him to come in. And against Bilbao, the good news is that Bilbao don't play that kind of football, and he could have played him on that pitch, and he could have made the difference. But I don't think he's our number 10. I think he's our left winger. He's going to be our left winger. So the left wing's going to invert, and the left back's going to invert, and everybody's going to invert into the right, and then we end up with no one on the left, and then this is going to happen. I'm not joking. And then you know who's going to go to the left? Gyökeres, looking for a ball on the left, and then he gets the ball, crosses it into the box. Nobody's there because Gyökeres is doing his job, and that man's doing his job. It's just a big
Crazy,
mess.
isn't it?
It's just a big mess.
It's going to be frustrating. It's going to be frustrating. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny, is Eze going to get a run in the team, or is he going to be a permanent fixture, or can you just see him being a squad player?
You know the thing about football, you can never say never, because simple reason, injuries happen. Long-term injuries happen. You know, look at the run that that when Yeri had in the team for a while. Look at the run that Lewis Skelly had, in the team. But the situation is that you do have concerns, because it seems like the number 10 position, he's already talking himself out of playing in there. He's saying that, well, he's not a right-sided number 10. He likes to play down the left-hand side, number 10. When everyone knows that this number 8 position, number 10 position, it doesn't have to be right-footed or left-footed. It's just that the players who played well in those positions happen to be left-footed, i.e. the left 8, the number 8 position. Xhaka played well in that position. And then number 10 position, Odegaard's the captain, who happens to be left-footed, who happens to link with Saka. But come on, everyone knows that these players are deployed in a different way. It's not all the same. But you're saying in terms of Eze, well, if he masters the left-hand side, yeah, he will get games. But the problem is he likes Madueke as well. So if everyone's fit, Eze would need to either create 2 chances a game or have a record where he's basically the sort of player that will score about 15 goals and 10 assists a season.
Wow, yeah.
That's the only way he'll get a game. Because Crystal Palace and Arsenal was night and day. He was the main man at Crystal Palace, but Arsenal was different kettle of fish. For instance, the way he played left wing, and I use that term loosely when it's Crystal Palace, is that actually is only his starting position. You just watch the game against us where he ended up and where he virtually stayed. He didn't stay at left wing. At Arsenal, you've got to stay at left wing.
Yeah,
especially Calafiori inverts and then plays. Sometimes he plays on the right. You're going to need Eze there as an outlet. You're going to need Eze there to stop the runs. I mean, and or not, without trying to be churlish and trying to put the manager down or put Eze down. Sunday, Alanga with his electric pace. Can you seriously see Eze playing against Alanga?
Well, yeah, no, facts, man. Dan, what's your concerns with Eze? Because we was all gassed when we signed him. I mean, he's going to be this creativity that we need. Is he just going to be a kind of squad player? Is Arteta just going to turn this quality player into just a squad player and Carabao Cups and FA Cups and just like mix and match him with Odegaard, or are we ever going to see Odegaard and Eze in the same team?
So this is where I'm at. I was massively excited, like everybody, when we signed him, right? The only issue I ever had was where he was going to play him and if he was going to misprofile him. Now, I don't think, like some of you, that he is not a left winger, can't be seen dead there. I think he can do a job there. A little bit similar, I suppose, to how Lewis Skelly and Calafiori can do a job at left back, but I'm not so sure either of them are actual left backs, right? So there's a difference between doing a job there and actually being an out-and-out player in that position. I don't think Eze is an out-and-out left winger, but I do think he's a creative attacking midfielder. So that means he can either play in Odegaard's position or in Declan Rice's attacking 8. Now, when I look at the scenario of Declan Rice, that is an unbelievably good player that is being misprofiled by the manager, in my opinion.
Facts.
I don't think we needed to go and lump a hell of a lot of money on Zubimendi, although I was for it at the time because Partey needed replacing. I actually think Declan Rice is the guy we need in holding midfield, but a lot of people would disagree and say they want him bombing up and down all the time. I know that Kenny and me have disagreed on this quite some time. I think Kenny doesn't see him as a 6 and sees him as an 8, and I'm the other way around, right? Yeah. I'm not saying Declan Rice can't play there, by the way, but he can definitely do a job there. But for me, I prefer him in the defensive position. I think he's much better off the ball than on the ball, Declan Rice, in my opinion. I think he's unbelievable off the ball, to be fair. And on the ball, he's good, but I think in that position, for me, I'd rather see him defensively. When I look at Eze, I'm the same. I don't want him stuck out wide on the wing, touchline winger. He wants to get into the mix and start playing with the ball. I don't want him stuck out there wide to be an option. Now, when we saw last night Max Dowman come on, it's different because Max Dowman was standing as far as he could to make an option, and then he dribbles the ball inside. Eze can do that, but he's so about getting in amongst it because he's too good to be stuck out on the wing. You don't play £70 million and then not get this guy in the team for Liverpool and City. Your biggest 2 games. It's a mad thing to do. So I don't think there's an issue with Eze. I think there's an issue with the manager. Now, the last thing I'll say on this is I don't actually mind if Eze is part of the squad and isn't playing 90 minutes in every single game. That doesn't bother me so much. What bothers me more is he seems so adamant against playing Eze and Odegaard or Eze and Nwaneri other than last night, that I hope from last night's game that he now starts to look at Brentford at home, Wolves at home, Brighton at home, and says we don't need Rice and Zubimendi on top of the back 4 that we've already got. And I don't know that he'll do that because, like I said and joke around the other night, he'd wear a lifeboat in the bath. Mikel Arteta, he's that safe, right? He's that type of geezer. He is so safety first, and I don't think that we'll do that. So I think it's the manager I'm looking at, not the player. And I'll say that for a few. You know, we've seen quite a few times, DJ, where this guy's brought in somebody, and we think, oh, I'm not too sure that we need that position. That's why he's brought him in. He's brought him in because he don't see him in that position. He sees Ben White as a right back, or he sees Declan Rice as an 8, or he sees Trossard as a winger, not a false 9, or he sees Kai Havertz as a God knows what, Marino as a striker, Havertz back as a striker. I don't know, he's not brought many players that you look at. Calafiori playing left back. Yeah, Lewis Skelly, brilliant in the youth system in midfield. I'm going to put him at left back. We haven't really got anybody at the moment that we could look at and go, he's an out-and-out player. Other than the goalkeeper and the 2 centre-halves, everybody's had a little bit of a mixed match of positions. And I'm not sure he's got many of them right, if I'm honest with you. Saka was a left-sided player. He's now right. Odegaard really is an 8. He plays him as a 10. Declan Rice is a 6. He plays him as an 8. Havertz and Marino are attacking midfield. He plays him as a 9. We've got Trossard playing God knows where. So I don't like the fact that he doesn't just go and buy an out-and-out left winger or an out-and-out left back. You know, me and Kenny both like Nuno Mendes. Like, he's a proper left back. You know, he's a proper left back. You don't play him left centre back. He's a left back. Calafiori and Lewis Skelly can do a job there, but Lewis Skelly's known as a midfielder and Calafiori is a centre back. So I think we need to look at that as Eze, and that could be the worry for me. Yeah,
no, facts. And that leads me on then, because like what you're saying there, he's bought players and we've not actually signed a player that plays in an actual position. So my next question is, and like anyone can come in here, is can the players actually adapt to the way Arteta wants to play? Have we got the players? Because I was told Zubimendi was going to be this creative midfield player, breaking lines, you know, Paul Scholes type of player, you know, swaying passes here, there and everywhere. I haven't seen it. Can these players actually adapt to their system? Or are we just going to be led down the garden path? Because it's clear to me that the manager is just stuck in his ways and this is how he wants to play. But sometimes I look at the players and they just don't look happy playing in that system. Declan Rice is playing in an 8, then he's playing in a 6, then he's trying to cover here, he's trying to cover there. Zubimendi gets bowled off the ball easy. Marino spends half the time on the floor. I mean, what we're saying here, guys, I mean, it looks all disjointed to me.
If I may, you've got. So first of all, this is how it works. So you've got 10 players defending apart from Victor Gyökeres. And the problem is that Gyökeres can't be included in the build-up because Gyökeres is not that type of player. And then you've got 2 left wingers that need to hog the touchline. And then you've got 3 in the middle that none of these 3 can actually feed these wingers that we have. So we got no creativity in that midfield. Plus, we got players wide apart from each other. So now, because the right wing is so far away, hugging the touchline, he's always doubled up on, always isolated. Madueke always isolated. Saka always isolated. I'll give you an example. Saka and Madueke both are playing thereabouts the same level. Trossard, Martinelli, Eze, thereabouts the same level. But all 3 of them, it's the system. They're always isolated. Everyone's isolated when it comes to the forwards. So if the ball if Eze gets the ball, doubled up on straight away, take the ball off him, boom, they're hitting us on the counter. Saka or Madueke, same thing, doubled up on. The only reason why Madueke is doing well is because Madueke can take on a player, because Madueke is a bit tricky. You know, he can dribble. His problem is obviously after that, it's at the end. But like, that's what we've got. We've got 3 holding midfielders that actually do nothing apart from defend. Trying to protect the only thing that we always boast about. Oh, the best defense, the best defense. Okay, let's test it. Yeah, this is the best defense. You don't need 3 defensive midfielders to protect that defense, because let's be honest, even Odegaard's been defending. Seriously. Like, Odegaard's the kind of player that you need to let free roam. You need to let him go. Because Odegaard's better than what he is right now. That's the thing. Everybody's regressing under this manager. So I'm sorry, it's the system. If a school teacher has a bunch of students that are 20 students, let's say, if 19 of them fail and only one of them make it, whose fault is it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, facts.
It's your fault. It's your
Kenny,
fault.
have we got the players to actually play this system? Because I've seen teams with defensive midfield players still be creative. I've seen teams that have set up.
You know it is right. With the thing with DMs, there's very few who are the full package. Thomas Partey was the full package, whether people like it or not. And that's one of the reasons why Mick Arteta, even though he was pushing for Zubimendi, didn't want Thomas Partey to leave. Mick Arteta got overruled on Thomas Partey. Obviously, let's just talk about football. We're not lawyers. We're not judges. We're just football fans. We just talk about pure football. For footballing reasons, Mick Arteta thought he needed him because he could do all three. Because if you look at all the DMs out there, apart from how many DMs out there do you think they can do everything? Rodri, Conrad Lima at Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
Gravenberch, no.
Gravenberch, yeah, Gravenberch is the best player in the league at the moment.
Yeah.
It's not even debate. I mean, Arsenal fans could talk about, till they're blue in the face. Oh, yeah, Declan Rice. No. Gravenberch has left Declan Rice at the 29 bus stop at Fuji Park. Yes, Gravenberch is unbelievable, and he's getting better and better and better. Whilst you look at Declan Rice, obviously he's playing with an injury. There were certain aspects last season where you thought after Madrid, free kicks, boom, boom. But this season, it's been, let's just say, it's been warm.
Yeah,
true.
Let's just get this super sticker. Big up, Claire. Big up, Claire. Thank you very much for the super sticker. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Much appreciated as always. And big up to everyone that's locked in today. Show goes on. Have we had some good news today though? I mean, what do we make of this, guys? Saliba signed a contract. And here you have it here. Apparently 5 years. Bert has wiped his magic. And we've only got to look here, haven't we, guys? It says it there, how important this guy is to this football team. Games with Saliba 104, 67.3% win rate as to 46 without him. So goals conceded only 0.8 with Saliba, 1.5 without him. Shots 8.9, 9.8. So it's all there. How important, Rachid, is this signing? What do you make of it?
Oh yeah, bro. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. Saliba's my favorite player at this club. Obviously, until I saw Max Dowman, now it's Max Dowman, but Saliba is my favorite player in this club. Do you know what I'm saying? But listen, man, I don't know what did Berta tell him. What did Berta tell Saliba to change his mind and to keep him at this club? I really do wonder because.
They've sold a dream, haven't they? They've sold a dream. I mean, Ethan Wanyeri's been sold a dream, but we all know how he's going to be used.
Yeah, but the Hell boys, it's different. He's French.
I'm wondering whether Bert has said, "Look, just hang on in there, be patient for this season, and we'll start setting the fan alight next season." I don't know, but then I know you're short of time. I want your opinion on this, mate, as well. But big up to everyone that's in the chat. This is good news today, though, and I mean, the percentages, the importance of this player is all there. Well, what did you make of it? And has Berta basically done the madness on this, or do you reckon Arteta's had an influence?
Most important bit of business we've done in a long time. Let's just say it how it is. Andrea Berta. Wow. Take a bow, son. Take a bow. Because for you to be doing all this, it makes you, do you know what it does? And I don't like to make things a negative all the time. It makes you ask questions about the previous regime, doesn't it? How crap they were, right? When this geezer's walked in and said, there's go 8 players, I'm going to get them all signed up on contract talks. And there's rumours that, Saka's going to be after. And he's also looked at, being quite ruthless, been like no nonsense, steering the manager, towards players that we want to be seeing, as opposed to the likes of Benjamin Sesko, looking at the game and getting the Eze deal done. No nonsense. If that was Edu, we'd still be negotiating now. Do you know what I mean? So I think when you look at what Edu and Vinay and Hus Fahmy and Raul Sanlehi and Ivan Gazidis all did previously, you look at what this guy's done, waltzed in within a few months of being in the job and going boom, 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 boom. Right now, I'll sit back and relax. Over to you, Mikel. And it's exactly what I needed to see, because there's always been, we all know what the problem is, right? But there's a lot of the fan base that have been using, well, it could be Edu, it could be Vinay, it could be this, that, Cronkies, rah, rah, rah. Now it ain't, because Bert has come in and sorted all that out. So now there's no more excuses about players and squad depth. There's no more excuses about contracts and players. There's no more excuses about give it more time and phases, because this guy's not needed any phases. This guy's not needed any time. He's waltzed in and said, I'll get you the 8 players you want. No mucking around. And now he's gone and tied up the deals for Ethan Nwaneri, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Gabriel, and now Saliba. And it looks like Saka's the next one on the list. For me, this one was the one that worried me the most. I'm not too worried about Saka still. I'm not worried, and I wasn't worried about the 2 youngsters. Ethan, I thought I knew probably due to links I have that he was going to stay at Arsenal, and Miles Lewis-Skelly likewise. But with Gabriel, I wasn't sure because of the link to Saudi, and with Saliba, I wasn't sure because I'm not sure how you can say no to Real Madrid. Now, I'll add to that, Gabriel obviously wanted to stay at Arsenal, and I'm glad that he did. And I don't think that Saliba has said no to Madrid. I think at the moment he said, I'm happy at Arsenal. Trust me, he will play for Real Madrid, but it's probably going to be when he's in his late 20s, right? So right now, when I look at what this business means for Arsenal, it's fantastic. He needs to stay at Arsenal for a very long time, and as long as we can get him. Because I'm with Rachid. He's not my favourite player, but I actually do think he's probably the best player at the club. In terms of his position, he's the one in the Europe that is just elite level at. Like, if he's world-class yet or not, we can have that conversation.
I don't think any team, Dan, wouldn't he?
He would walk into any team in Europe. That's the best way to explain it, right? So he'd walk into any team in Europe because other than Van Dijk, there ain't many better than him, right? So right now, you can talk about who's in this league and who's better than him and who's on that level, cool. But he is in the top 5 centre-halves in the world of football. There's no doubt about that. You can question some of the other positions, Arsenal have got in the team. I know Kenny and I have gone back and forth about players, but there's also players that people have said that are world-class that I don't think anywhere near world-class. Like Igal said yesterday, we got 6 that are world-class in our side, It's just crazy for me. But, that's Igal. When I look at the scenario of Saliba staying at Arsenal, it excites me greatly because I do think we've got the best Europeans partnership. And I do think that means, yet again, that there's more pressure on Mikel Arteta. Because if he's going to come out in a press conference, DJ, and say, I've got attacking players, I've got attacking fullbacks, I've got attacking midfielders, I've got an attacking centre-half, and I've got an attacking goalkeeper, which is a new one. Does anyone know what an attacking goalkeeper is?
I haven't got a clue. I ain't seen Rao hit one from 20 yards. And
I mean, how can you get attacking from that? Maybe Peter Schmeichel was an attacking goalkeeper because he scored quite a few goals as a goalkeeper. But look, I don't get it at all. But at the end of the day, what that does is it puts pressure on you to score some goals. And they need to keep some clean sheets. And this guy's a massive part of that. This is brilliant news, DJ. Brilliant news today.
Yeah, big up then. It gave me a lift, but then we've got to look forward to Newcastle on Sunday and we could be back to square one again. Kenny? Massive signing, isn't it, Saliba? I mean, you're also a big fan of Saliba, aren't you?
You know what? It makes you think. What was happening in the first 2 years of his when he was joining us. That he was set off on loan. If he's that good, he must have had some personal problems when he needed to be in France, or the managers didn't think he was ready. But bloody hell!
But Kenny, he was that horrible manager that we had before Arteta that signed him, wasn't he?
That's the thing. Well, Unai Emery signed him, but you remember there was a couple of seasons like the 2021 season and the 21-22 season where was he? He was on loan, wasn't he? I don't know where he had personal problems. He needed to be in France. I know he's got a parent that lost his life. God bless it, lost his life. Or
we had to put up with Rob Holding, didn't we, while he was on loan?
Yeah. So and then he comes back in the 22-23 season. I said, what is that? And I heard that he was like the Mbappe centre halves, but you have to see it and believe it. But bloody hell, what a player! I'm glad he signed for us. Yeah. Is he world class? World class. You know what? You can't. Everyone is world class. You can't. Everyone.
What's your definition of world class, Kenny? What is it? Because I don't know anyone's definition.
Well, you know what I say about world class. One of the best positions for a start. You have to be the best your position, the best your position in the world. You have to be in a situation where if you're an attacking player, you have to have that kind of situations where you affect games on a regular basis, especially when it comes to pressure situations. You have to have that change of pace, which world-class players have. And it would help if you win something big for your country or you're big for your club. There is an exception where some players don't win trophies, but they're still world-class strikers. Alan Shearer, Gary Lineker, as far as I know, have only won one trophy in domestic football. Gary Lineker obviously won some Barcelona European Cup Winners' Cup, but he wasn't as lucky as Ian Rush. But he's still a world-class striker in my mind because of what he did for England and for Barcelona and all the clubs he played for. And Alan Shearer is world-class. Ian Rush, for me, is world-class. Henri's world-class. Ian Wright, is he world-class? Is he better than Alan Shearer? Is he better than Gary Lineker? Is he better than Rushy? I leave that's up for debate.
I would have thought so.
But you look at the current players. The only current players that I think are world-class, Salah. You're gonna have to say Mbappe and Haaland at the moment.
What about Yamal?
What's that?
Yamal. Lamine.
Yeah, I would say he is.
I think he is. Yeah, I think he is, and that's right. That's about it. He is. But
what about Van Dijk though? What about Van Dijk? Because he's been consistent for many years.
Van Dijk is world class. He'll get into he'll be considered one of the top defenders in the world at the moment.
Yeah,
and he can be compared against defenders of other eras. Don't listen to people like Mikkel Ballack, who says, "Oh, in my day," don't listen to him. But Van Dijk is a top defender. But when you talk about Arsenal players, the current Arsenal players being world class, I know there's one where we always have a debate with, Bukayo Saka. Not yet.
No, I think Saliba's closer to being world class than Saka, if I'm honest, because I feel like the position, only by the position, because I don't see the positions at the moment. Rudiger,
who's better performer? Who over the last few years has actually been a better performer out of him and Gabriel?
That's debatable. That's debatable.
I think they've both been quality. I agree what you're saying, Kenny. But
the guy that you called a bozo. Since you called him a bozo at the Leeds game in 22-23, since then his performances have been unbelievable.
I agree, and I was one of the persons who called him a bozo. But I do think that the last two seasons he has outperformed Gabriel. He's outperformed Saliba. I think he's been a better defender.
But you wouldn't call him world class, though, would you?
I don't know. I don't know. If I'm honest, it's a great shot. At the moment, both of them I would say are closer because I think with the right wing position, Salah and Lamine Yamal are ahead of Saka, aren't they? Right, yes. And you probably would say Rodrigo is close to doing that as well. I love Saka. I think he's incredible. I absolutely love him. Is Vinny
Junior world class? Is Vinny Junior world class?
Oh man, I love Vinny Junior, man.
I think he is. I think it was an outrage. I think it was an outrage that he didn't get the Ballon d'Or.
Vinny Junior. Sorry, I didn't know what you were saying. Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Vinny.
You broke up when you said the name. I was thinking that, and then I didn't hear you say Vinny Junior. Yeah, of course he is. Vinicius Junior is 100%.
Is Jude Bellingham world class?
No.
Is he overrated?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's English. I don't know if it's English.
I think he's quality, but I don't think he's next level. I think he's a good player though.
But Saliba, do you know why, Kenny? I think Dan, why we put Saliba a bit better than or more closer to world class because he's a ball playing defender.
Yeah,
and that's something.
He's a better footballer. That's what it is. Gabriel is a better footballer than Gabriel. That's why people like him. He's better to watch. He's got more technical ability. Yeah. He's a ball playing centre half. He's like Rio as opposed to John Terry. He's got that. Not that John Terry couldn't play because he could, but you get what I'm saying. That's why I think people like it, and because he's younger. So he's going to be better than Gabriel when he's 27, 28 that Gabriel is now. So I think that's why we do it. But I think Kenny's right. The last 2 years, I think Gabriel has been unbelievable for Arsenal. Like ridiculously good.
Yeah, no, all I know, it's an all-round absolute brilliant piece of business by Berta. I mean, I think with Saliba, there's two players that he's the sort of player, he's one of the first names you put on a team sheet at any level. And, he has to start. He has to start. Let's quickly move on to Sunday's game. St James's Park, Newcastle. Dan, what we expecting, bro, because I'm at the situation now where this manager, I'm one of these now that I'm not blaming the players. I understand players have bad games. I know there's players that, don't come up to standard on certain games, but I'm not going down the road of keep blaming the players. I think the players are good enough. I think it's down to one person only, and that's the manager. So bear that in mind. How are we setting up on Sunday? Because we need 3 points. I don't even think a draw's good enough, especially if Liverpool beat Palace. How are we going to go into this game? And who do you think he's going to start?
Okay. I'm going to say this. I'm going to duck because I've got to shoot after this, DJ.
Yeah,
right?
go on, Dan.
I'll tell you this. I'll make it simple. For the first time, I hope Martin Odegaard is fit. And I'm not a huge lover of Martin Odegaard at the moment.
Wow. Weren't expecting
because that is the only way that I can see Marino not playing in midfield. That is the only way. If Odegaard isn't fit, and I don't know if he is or isn't, I mean, he might have played a game last night, a bit of last night if he was, but that's the only way that I see Marino out of this midfield is Odegaard playing. And when he does, he won't play Eze with him. He'll play Eze on the left. So if Odegaard's fit, I imagine it will be the team we expect. Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, and then Saka, Eze, and Gyökeres. That's what I think the team will be if Odegaard is fit. If he ain't fit, it will be Marino because he doesn't want to play Eze in the middle and Martinelli left because I think he loves Marino. He sees Tonali and Bruno and thinks, I need Marino. Marino used to play for Newcastle. Marino is the physical guy that he sees as the attack 9 that can play in midfield. So I think that he will go with that midfield if Odegaard isn't fit. If Odegaard's fit because he's captain, because he's leader in his eyes, he will play. So that's why I hope that he is fit because I don't want to see this Marino in midfield again. And let's get this right. It's not Mikel Marino. I don't think Mikel Marino's great, by the way, but I don't think he's a shambles of a footballer that can't pass or can't do anything, right? He has scored some good goals. He has done a job for us in games. He's a squad player. That's all he is, right? But that trio could not complement themselves less with each other, right?
It's terrible.
You know when we had Xhaka, Party, and Odegaard, individually, I didn't think any of them were like, wow. But I thought Party was brilliant in his position. Xhaka was excellent in that 8. And Odegaard was good that season in the 10. And I thought all 3 of them complemented each other as well. We've got a scenario where I actually think Zubimendi is very good as a 6. Declan Rice, for me, should be in a double pivot alongside him. But I don't think Marino complements Rice. I'm not so sure that Zubimendi complements Marino. And I know people will say, but they played together in Sociedad. Well, you wouldn't know it looking at them, if I'm honest. You wouldn't know it looking at them. So I don't think that trio can play in midfield, mate. And if they do, then I think we'll drop points again, and I think the season will be over. Because I, unlike many people, believe Liverpool will beat Crystal Palace at the weekend. So we'll be then 7 points behind them. You can't go 7 points behind them. You just can't. Not this early. Not this early.
No, you're spot on there, mate. I mean, I didn't look at that with Odegaard, to be honest with you. I was just looking at Eze, where he's going to put Eze and everything else. But big up, Arron. Big up, Arron. I was just looking about where he's going to play Eze. But no, you've made some good points, especially on the Odegaard one, because then he hasn't got to play Marino.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason. And it's not because I love Odegaard and I want him to play.
No, I get that.
The only reason I can see him not playing Marino is if Odegaard's back fit. But look, DJ, I've got to shoot, bro.
Yeah, Ben, thank you very much. Make sure
Legend.
that you...
I'm only going because Arron's jumped on now, so I better get out of here.
I know. What I do wrong, Dan?
Yeah, I know.
If you've been living under a rock and you haven't subbed to the 12th man, then I suggest you do so straight away. Big up, Dan, and all the best. Thank you very much, bro. And
nice one.
Yeah, big up, legend.
Love.
Big up.
Take care. See you next time. In a bit, people. Laters.
Right. Welcome, Arron. Let me just get this super chat. We've got a couple of super chats here. Big up, Lawrence. You ain't been around for my friend. If we lose against Newcastle, West Ham, we could be 11 points behind Liverpool. Kiss the title goodbye, as there's no way to catch the Scousers. I don't even think it'll be that, Lawrence, to be honest. Even the West Ham, I think if we lose against Newcastle and Liverpool get a result, it could be curtains, to be honest, because it's a big gap.
That's 8 points, isn't it?
Yes, 8 points. Yeah.
I think the thing about it is that, you know, you've had a lot of people, you know, it's half and half. People seem to forget that the sort of criteria for Arsenal to challenge for this title, especially when they haven't won it, you know, in like 22 years now, and they've basically been bridesmaids or groomsmen, if you want to, you know, like say, you know, be equal opportunities or just sexual equality. If you want to go groomsmen or bridesmaids, well, basically, Arsenal have to be immaculate. You know, we have to have that mentality that the title race started at 4:30 or on the 17th of August at Old Trafford. So
Thanks.
we have to. If we won all these games, we wouldn't be using phrases like, "Oh, it's only 5 games. What are these guys getting upset about? This season's a marathon. It's not a sprint." We know that, but in terms of laying down a marker, you have to be in a situation where every game has got something on it. You have to assume that your rivals are going to be immaculate. So, for instance, if you say, all right, well, City not the same side, all right, fine. But it's still Liverpool. They won every game. So you've got to match Liverpool. Because you saw last season that when we didn't match Liverpool, we basically, in my opinion, basically surrendered the title charge. We had basically surrendered titles to Liverpool in December. Because it wasn't a title race. And we don't want to get in a situation where it's going to be the same thing this season. Because at the end of the day, the mentality Liverpool got, now they've won it, is going to be supercharged. They are going to look at every game. They are going to know when to pace themselves. They are going to know that, you know, even if we're not playing well, I know I can get this guy off the bench. I know I can get Chiesa off the bench because Chiesa's hungry now because he's going to get games because a couple of my strikers, God bless his soul, one I've lost, you know, to tragedy and one I've had to sell. So that is one of those things where Arsenal have to have that mentality. They can't afford to drop points with Newcastle. It's a case of like they've got to go there to win. They have to assume that Crystal Palace, despite them being on a good run, Liverpool are going to end that run.
Yeah, no, facts, man. No, it's so important, Kenny, and honestly, it is so important. And we was never in a title race. Just one more, Lawrence. Big up, my friend. Big up. I've just come out of an induced coma after watching the Port Vale game. Lawrence, we all have, mate. I've not really been out of one since 2 seasons ago, to be honest with you, brother. But big up to you, my friend. I hope you're well. Welcome back to the community, my friend, and thank you very much for the super chat. Arron, thanks for joining, my friend. Dan did have to go, so it's nothing personal. He did say that he only had.
Listen,
you know what Dan's like. He's here, there, and everywhere, mate. I mean, he's such a busy. Getting these sort of people on they have a busy schedule, don't they? Leaves the
EJB, look, it's like a Mikel Arteta substitution, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? The superstar Dan Potts for little old me. It's like a Mikel sub, isn't it?
I'm just I'm just happy to get these sort of I mean, he's legend, man. I'm glad he popped on, and always Kenny and yourself and everyone else, man. It's fantastic. I know I'm going to be backtracking chat, and big up the chat that's all in, world class chat, as Arron would say, and I second that. Absolutely wonderful, each and every one of yous. If you haven't subbed, make sure that you do sub. They're all pinned. Arron talks Arsenal Revolution, Rachid, the Arsenal Revolution, and obviously following Kenny Ken on Insta. They're all there, guys. So, Arron. I haven't had a chance to speak to you, mate, since the OGs. What time did you fall asleep last night watching this Port Vale, mate? What is that? I mean, what is happening? Because I just said to Dan, I can't blame the players, man. I was the manager anyway, but then every now and again I dig out individual players just to make me feel better. But I'm not blaming the players now. What is going on? What is happening with this club? Seriously.
Yeah, look. Well, you know, after 8 minutes, I'm not going to lie. I sat there and I thought, riot. And then, do you know what I quickly done very quickly after? You know, when you just forget and you think, wow, we're playing a lower league side, 8 minutes, we're going to spank them. And then the other part, the sensible part of my brain went, yeah, but, you know, you've got Mikel Arteta as manager and he'll probably start playing defensive. And he doesn't usually spank teams regardless of whether they're, you know, this or that. And then I instantly shut my own self down. So I thought, here we go. And then, like, you know, that just logical part of my head went, nah. And it's always the logical part, mostly anyway, that wins, innit? And we ended up winning 2-0 with a late sort of Trossard goal. I mean, look, from yesterday, it's job done, isn't it? I mean, the lineup was there or thereabouts correct. I'd have made a couple of changes. I'm also not on £15 million a year or Arsenal manager. I'd have made a couple of changes, but it was the same old, wasn't it? I thought to myself, do you know what? If you wanted to make a statement, maybe you should have had Gyökeres from the start, you know, and really sort of took it to the game. Once you went 1-0 up after 8 minutes, these are the games as well. I haven't got a game in mind for reference, but these are the ones that pick players' confidences up, you know. And I'm glad he played Eze. Some people disagree. I don't know if any of you boys have said it. I'm glad he played Eze to get that goal. Like, so I can't say you shouldn't have played Eze and should have played Gyökeres to get a bit of confidence. So I'm glad he played Eze. He's got his first goal now. Hopefully that's the start of and first of many. And of course, with Gyökeres, I feel like he should have started him. You can sort of appreciate to a certain extent why he wanted to rotate. But I just thought this game would have been best served for Gyökeres to go, do you know what? Get a couple of goals from open play. Start getting a little link up with Eze. You know, get that little telepathy going for the rest of the season. And I just sort of seen, whilst I can't reference specific games, I've seen Manchester City's and Liverpool's in recent times field not the strongest teams, but certain links like Manchester City and Liverpool would have started Eze and Gyökeres to go on, you two. Go and get yourself, Gyökeres, get yourself 2 goals. Eze, get yourself 2 assists and a goal to get yourself rolling for the Newcastle game. And not just the Newcastle game, for the season.
Preach, Aaron. That's what I was saying. That's what I said yesterday on DG's show. And that's what I said on Dan's show. And people said, yeah, you know, rightly so, because they've got every right to be concerned that, yeah, but whatever he gets injured. But I thought, you know, with his lack of chances being created for him, in terms of, like, he's got 3 goals and everyone says, well, he's doing really well. Yeah, that's in spite of the fact he hasn't got any chances. You would have thought that, and no disrespect to Port Vale, it's just a fact. There's a reason why they're in a low division. That's the reason why we're amongst the sort of like bookies' favourites to win the Champions League and win the Premier League. There's a gap in quality. You would have. What I wanted from Gyökeres, I wanted him to fill his boots, because you notice, right, that there's a couple of seasons ago that Haaland was playing the FA Cup games. He was playing like their, Carabao Cup games. He was filling his boots. And then in terms of like Gyökeres, I want him to fill his boots. So
facts.
He instead of being on 3 goals, he's on 5 or 6. And then he goes to Newcastle on the back of scoring a couple of goals or a hat-trick. And just, right, I'm good to go. He can't wait to get out of bed. Even though it's going to be a hard day against Newcastle in terms of defence, even though, you know, creativity may be an issue, he'll think, right, you know what? Any little chance I get, even a half chance, I'm scoring, because he's got that rhythm. But if he's not playing, and then you bring him on with about 15 minutes to go, and then the only chance he gets is from Max Dowman, and he misses it, I just think Mikel missed a trick.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. Like I said, largely I believe the lineup was okay. You know, you do also need to give players either coming back from injury or usual first teamers minutes. So I do appreciate, you know, the Mosqueras, the Ben White needed to start. Kepa needed to play in this game. That's why you've got.
What about Saka? Sorry, Saka. What about Saka, Aaron?
No. You should have had Max Dowman in there for Saka. That thing should have been roles reversed, because Max Dowman came on for Saka. I think maybe 70-ish minute. Maybe I'm wrong there. But either way, mid to late in the second half. I don't know the exact minute. That should have been roles reversed. So Saka, to not start him, you know, he should have come on maybe when we'd have won the game. Maybe it's a little bit more relaxed. Just embed him in so he's not expected to run his socks off from the start of the game to win the game. I think Max Dowman should have had the start there. If you're not going to start him against Port Vale in the 3rd round, when are you going to start him? That's sort of what I mean. If you're not going to start him against Port Vale in the 3rd round, you're going to start him at Brighton at home in the 4th round. Do you see what I mean? So I think he missed a massive trick there on the right-hand side. I think whilst I can understand the rotation, as I said, I'm gonna hold my point to it. He should have allowed an Eze and Gyökeres telepathy to start to grow. And I think in these sort of games, that's where you sort of get the best out of them. Could you imagine you got that little link up between them, you know, and Eze got 1 assist, Gyökeres got one goal sort of from that. They need to stop. Look, let me sort of cut in my own point here. We had no goal scorer and no creativity last season. This season, we have a goal scorer who is the most prolific in the last 2 years in Europe, by the way. And we've got Eze, who is also in his own right a very good assister and a match winner. You need to start them two ASAP. You can't just start a goal scorer like he has done in the Premier League and not the assister, because what you'll find under Mikel Arteta's system is you've got now a predator with no one to feed him. You've got a predator with no prey, or he's not able to get prey. You know, you've put him in a cage with nothing to eat, and that's what without giving a creative player like Eze is. You should be going, wow, we had none of these two. This season, we've got both of them. They should have been playing ASAP, first game, in the instantaneous to build up that bit of telepathy, that partnership, that role of I'm the assister, you're the finisher. I'm going to find you, mate, and I'm going to put the ball on a plate for you 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z times a game. Now, it's your job, Gyökeres, to put the ball in the back of the net. This is what we need at Arsenal Football Club. We've been crying out for both.
There's no relationship building up, is there?
Exactly right. And if you can't start building it up in a game sort of like a Port Vale away, you know, with all due respects to Port Vale, if you can't start them two in that game, when are you going to start them? Newcastle away? No. You ain't going to do that, Mikel Arteta. You're going to shit the bed. Why? Because you've done it last season without them. And this season, what have we learned? Liverpool away, shit the bed. Manchester City at home, shit the bed. Are you going to surprise us all and finally maybe learn against Newcastle on Sunday, 4:30 p.m? Are you? Or are you going to be the coward that you've proven us to be for 5.5 and counting bloody years, Mikel Arteta? I'll go for the latter because that's what I've seen. I've got evidence, and I've got over half a decade of evidence. I haven't seen him once. Well, actually, no, we did see him once have a bit of bottle in the 22-23 season. And that's actually the season we all go back to in reference to praise Arteta.
That's the only season we ever go back. That's the only ever season we go back to, Arron.
Funny that, though, isn't it? Funny that.
Because there's nothing to go back to, DJB. What is there to go back to? I mean, apart from the Real Madrid win, which was a great night. I know. A lot of people.
The season 22-23. You know, there was. I'm thinking, we're playing some good stuff here, but again, it's like,
guys, you know what you talk about. You know, when you talk about 22-23. There's times when I think that the team of 23-24 look like the business, like they had their chests out. Apart from like the Villa game, especially when we came back from Dubai and we started smashing teams, beat Liverpool 3-1, and. It was a case where you wanted to lay down a marker. And, in hindsight, it's 2020. But Paul Scholes was right, wasn't he? When we went to the Etihad and we were playing really beautiful. We were basically steamrolling teams powerfully. And it was a case of going against Man City. Were we brave enough to lay down a marker? And we didn't. And Paul Scholes, even though, don't get me wrong, we're still the favourites because we had the points and the goal difference on our side. But Paul Scholes did say, something happened there. Then, obviously, further down the line, Rodri was saying the same sort of thing about how why didn't Arsenal come to win? We knew they came for a point. But in hindsight, when I look at a team that really looked like possible, title, not title contenders, title winners, I thought the 23-24 team was more solid because it was defence was, kind of immaculate. But you're right. Since then, we haven't seen anything else. But I still say it. There's still scars from not winning the league in those last 2 years in 22-23, and especially 23-24. Especially because, let's face it, Man City didn't win the league in 22-23 and 23-24. They won it on paper, and the history books will say they won it, but we gave them the title in 22-23, and we gave them the title in 23-24. Without any doubt of that, you can't. If you know what I mean, and when you make those sort of mistakes when the pressure is on, mentally it's going to affect you. I'm no psychologist, but come on, you don't have to have a
Kenny,
degree.
I thought that Arteta changed the culture. That was when I knew that it was all bullshit because our culture. What was our culture? We were always failing when when it gets to the nitty gritty, when it gets to the games. And you were talking about coming back from Dubai. We did all of that, and then just to end up drawing.
You know what you just described. Rashid, you know what you just described. And if the cap fits, tough shit, wear it with shame or pride if you want. We're flat track bullies. You just described a flat track bully.
Yeah,
because you think about the teams we beat. Crystal Palace 5-0?
Yeah.
Burnley, Sheffield United, was it
Crystal Palace? Yeah.
Crystal Palace, yeah. So Sheffield United 6-0. Who else did we beat 6-0? West Ham 6-0.
West Ham, yeah. West Ham away.
6-0. Burnley 5-0. Crystal Palace 5-0. Went to who else did we got? Teams went to before we played Man City.
Was that the year we beat Chelsea? Chelsea by 5.
Yeah,
well, was
5-0 Chelsea. That was after after Villa.
Chelsea 5-0, wasn't it?
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So Chelsea 5-0, and not a strong Chelsea side, finished 6th. Liverpool, who were our rivals at the time because they were 5 points ahead of us, great performance, beating 3-1. That's not a track bully kind of result, but the other ones are flat. It looks like a flat track bully. And then Man City, there's Man City. We're not sure about that. And then Aston Villa, who basically pulled the rug from under us. And don't get me wrong, our response afterwards was brilliant. We won every game.
Yeah,
but it was too late.
We had the West Ham one as well, didn't we? We had the West Ham at home, didn't we?
Yes, but that was before Dubai,
that was Boxing Day, wasn't it? That was Boxing Day, I think, was it?
Yeah.
Or after,
it was 2 days after Boxing Day, but
was it?
It was before Dubai, because you think about it, we basically tried to fit Declan Rice and Havertz in the team, and then we had remember those games where we were winning in the last minute, Luton away, Man United at home, and then we got to Christmas where we lost to West Ham, lost to Fulham. And then we got beaten by Liverpool in the cup, and then we needed a break. Went to Dubai. Guess what happens? We came up playing beautiful football. Yeah, we were always playing catch up. The season afterwards, when everyone thought we were the next cab of the ranks, we had a hard kind of 6 or 10 games. We thought, right, we're ready. But whilst we were having those hard games, some of them we drew. Liverpool won every game except for Nottingham Forest, where they lost. And that was it. We were dead. And then
that tells you how shit the league is.
Yeah,
think about it. Ever since.
Exactly.
Scarred ever since. I mean, Rachid, Newcastle Sunday. Is he gonna play? Right. I'm gonna throw something really in here for you guys. This is it now. Do you reckon he's going to play Marino up front because of their strengths? Do you reckon he's going to do some sort of madness? Because he bamboozles us, didn't he? I'm putting it right out there now. And the only reason why is because when he threw Trossard at us against Man City, no one was expecting it. No one. We was expecting perhaps Martinelli on the left, Eze on the left. No one mentioned Trossard. Is he thinking, right, okay, I'll show him. I'll put Marino up front or something like that. What are you saying? Do you reckon
too risky? I think it's too risky for him because bear in mind that Gyökeres and Eze are the new 2 shiny toys. See, they're done with the old toys now. They're starting to get rid of Odegaard as a toy. Do you know what I'm saying? The Havertz is done now. Now Eze is the new toy and Gyökeres. And I think that he can't risk that because the heat will be too much. And bear in mind, Liverpool are leading by 5 points. Whether you like it or not, Liverpool are still winning games. Whether you say it's a fluke or not, listen, that's up to them. That they're winning their games the way they're winning their games. Because we used to win games like Liverpool. People forgot, but we used to win games like Liverpool. The season that Kenny was talking about, we won a couple of games like Liverpool. Last-minute goals. And the thing is that against Newcastle, he already knows that Newcastle is our kryptonite. That's our kryptonite. Newcastle are the team that actually we do struggle against. Like we had 1 shot on target. Like it is madness on 2 games. 1 on target. Oh, do you know that we just going back to the last game, we had 2 shots on target the 72 minute, 72nd minute.
Yeah,
It
it's
just
crazy.
shows you. I don't think he'll risk it, DJB. I don't
No.
think he'll risk it. I think he'll play Gyökeres. And it depends if Odegaard's back or not. It depends if Odegaard's back or not. But I don't think he'll risk not playing Gyökeres. If he does, he's a brave man. He's a brave man if he does, because what the heat he'll get after dropping points to Newcastle, because you better believe that we're gonna drop points if Moreno's playing up top. You better believe that we're gonna drop points, whether it's a draw or a loss, because we can't afford to draw now because of this manager. We can't afford.
I mean, the reason why I asked, if you look at Gyökeres' stats, it's not looking too good. I mean, you know, he scored 3 goals, yeah, 1 from the penalty spot, 2 in open play. But do you know what I mean? You know, there's been noise about, oh, you know, he ain't the pundits, the media, they've been saying, oh, he's been a bit of a disappointment and he has to score in big games to prove himself. I think, what was his name? You know, the guy that loves us on TalkSport, the Watford guy, Troy. Oh, he's got to score in big games. He's got to score in big games to make a name for himself. But let me tell you, how can you score if you're not getting the service? Arron, do you think he's going to play safe Sunday, or do you think he's going to not risk because he's had a bit of a backlash, or he just don't really care, does he? He'll just do it to prove a point, won't he, and just set up again the same he did against Man City?
He's primed to go with all he knows. I can't see him taking any risks. I would love to say that he would, based on what I've seen before. I just think he's going to go there and do what he knows. And what he knows best, sadly, is probably start Merino in the midfield. To all of our disappointment, whether he wants to play Martinelli to the left-hand side, because there's a thing with Martinelli. I call him a defensive winger. Because, all right, he scored 2 goals, but he's not really an attacking winger anymore, really, is he? Arteta usually utilises him, unless he's come off the bench, which is when he scored them 2 goals, by the way. When he starts him, it's usually in a team where he's got Calafiori on the left-hand side, and he uses Martinelli for that willingness to constantly track back. I reckon we'll see a lot in that lineup. If we see Merino and Martinelli from the start, we know it's ultra defensive, because he's using that Martinelli, as I just said, for that wing-back cover. And that energy and effort that he does put into his credit. And then, as soon as you see Mikel Merino in midfield, right off from the start, the only time we've actually seen him play actually reasonably well, Mikel Merino, is when he's up top. But we don't want him up top because we've got Gyökeres. And then if he starts Martinelli on the left-hand side and he starts Merino, then that means we won't see Eze. Because where are you going to put him in? Zubimendi or Declan Rice? No. So if you see them 2 players starting, Martinelli left and Merino right, you instantly know. I just wish I could sort of go, do you know what? I think he's going to go for this. I'd love to have that little gut feeling. You know, that the gut feeling ain't always right, but, you know, I'd love to sort of go, yeah, I can see him. I can see him going for it. Maybe putting Eze on the left, even though I don't like him there. I would at least prefer him there because he's on the field with Gyökeres. And then, you know, I'd personally like someone, you know, like an Eze maybe on the left wing. And dare I say this, but even an Odegaard, if he's fit, is better than Mikel Merino. And I'm not Odegaard's fan, and we all know this anyway. I can't stand the bloke. But even he is a better right 8 than bloody Mikel Merino. He just is. No, I'm not saying it's like, you know, wow, we need to get him in there, but he just is, isn't he? But you know, I'm smiling because I'm sort of thinking about the teams I'd choose, and it's all gonna come down raining on me when I see the team he chooses, which is negative, boring, the same team we've seen in 3 previous attempts in the Carabao Cup and the last 2 in the league away at Newcastle has produced, 3 shots on target in 270 minutes minus extra time added on. Nah.
Kenny, is he going to shock us? Can you see any shocks coming Sunday? I've
got to go in 2 minutes, by the way, as well. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries, Arron. No worries.
I think we're going to wrap up after this anyway. But in terms of how he's going to play, no, because he'll be more worried about the opposition. You think, as I mentioned, you know, they're wingers. You know, he's got to be cautious. You know, he's gonna worry about that midfield. That midfield's gonna be very robust. They're gonna play the referee and play just within the rules. They're gonna look at the referee and see what he's gonna give. It's gonna be an hard game where if you think about how they played us over the last few years, and how they played us the Carabao Cup, they monstered us. They monstered us.
Yeah.
And I just think that he is going to go for like a horses for courses midfield. In essence, without trying to be churlish, this is probably the game when he probably should go horses for courses, to be honest.
Yeah. I was just going to say that. This is the sort of game we should do.
When if you think about the Man City game, when you're at home, do you really go horses for courses against Man City against this Man City?
The City one he should have gone for. But this is a game where if he does line up defensive...
He went off the courses because of Liverpool's reputation as a big club, and then we got a poor record there. But Kenny, goals.
Kenny, one thing I just quickly will say: can he afford to go horses for courses because we drew against Manchester City? Though that's the question.
Probably not, but he will still say that he's won big games playing that way. He's won big games when they've been compact and where they've had their chance, and he's basically his team selection says. We know if we go in front, we'd be difficult to beat.
Yeah.
So he's banking on an early goal.
Right, guys, it's been an absolute brilliant stream. Just a couple of questions here. Kenny, are you worried that Gyökeres is going to turn out to be a flop because of the service? Are you worried about Gyökeres being a flop at this football club, Kenny? Quickly.
Well, it depends what you constitute as a flop. If he scored 15 goals and a few and about 5 or 6 goals in the cup, he's not really a flop, is it? Because nowadays, you score 15 goals or 17 goals, you're basically worth £1 million now.
Yeah, fact.
You have to score 25 goals or 20 goals to be worth £1 million now.
Yeah.
So it depends what you constitute as failure. It doesn't matter with those 15 goals against cannon fodder opposition. The fact that he's got 15 goals. Yeah, in the league, probably about.
I was hoping 20. Yeah, I said he'd be lucky to score 15 goals. To be honest with you, and beggars can't be choosers with this manager. If you've got a striker scoring 15 goals, Rachid, are we ever going to witness Arteta being sacked?
Yeah, this season he ain't going to win nothing. He's out this season. He's I know we all have to go. Sorry, Arron as well. But do you know what it is, DJ? Yeah, when you think about it, we brought in Berta. We've fired some people upstairs as well. Something's changing in this club. We bought players that are club signings because before Eze and Gyökeres, the rest were all Arteta signings. So I feel like he will get sacked this season. And they had the little meeting as well, the little meeting with Josh. So things are happening, and I'm hoping that this guy gets sacked because I know for a fact
January. I said January, but I can't see it if we're still in the Champions League. But anyway, guys, quick prediction. I know you've all got to go, and appreciate you. Make sure that you're all subbing and following these guys' channels. They're doing some brilliant things. Always welcome the chat. Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us. Quick prediction on Sunday, Rachid. Newcastle.
2-2.
2-2. Arron.
1-1. Not good enough.
Yeah, I said I'm going to go 1-1 as well. Kenny?
0-0.
On that, guys, you've heard it. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Rachid, shout your channel.
Yeah, big up having me on. Big up to you, Kenny, Ken, of course, Arron.
Always,
and Dan as well. Big up chat as well. Arsenal Revolution TV. I'll be live on Saturday, probably 8 p.m. So yeah, tune in, people. Tune in.
Big up. Arron?
I'm going to be live in 1 minute.
Oh, massive! Oh, right.
Yeah.
No, brother. We'll go and raid Arron, and then after Arron, you've got to go and raid Shane.
Yeah, that's it. So I'll be raiding Shane. Yeah, so I'm gonna have Rachid. I'm gonna have Taron and Views, and maybe Fuad, and we're gonna talk some Arsenal in about 45 seconds.
Right.
But listen, can I just say thank you for having me on, Rachid? I'll talk to you soon.
No, thanks for coming on, Aaron. I know you've
I don't
got a big...
stream with this guy to my right enough, so it's always a pleasure to share.
Yeah, no, Aaron, thank you very much for jumping on. Ken,
right
obviously, me and you, brother. I mean, we're pretty much together all week, aren't we, brother?
We spend a lot of time together, but you know, this week, obviously, like
Saliba and Gabriel.
I'm going out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wednesday on Saturday, I don't know. I think well, obviously, it's 2 Premiership games, so I'm going to watch this. Spurs are playing at 8 o'clock against Wolves, so I'm going to say, come on, Wolves, I'll watch that. And I think there's a 5:30 game as well. So, Wolves to Wolves.
There's plenty of football on, bro. Plenty of football.
Yeah.
No, big up to everyone. Right, get over to Arron. Get over to Arron Talks Arsenal. He's going live straight after this. Make sure you get over to him. And I want everyone over there, Johnny. And he knows who you are. He knows who you are. Thanks, guys. On that note, take care, guys. And love to you all. Bang.